Insomniac Games is one of Sony's best first-party studios, which has been growing, and we have seen the development of quality titles by it. Without a doubt, the studio's biggest success should be Marvel's Spider-Man, which debuted in 2018. The game mixed a superhero story well with incredibly entertaining and engaging gameplay and was eventually dubbed one of the best superhero games. In 2020, Insomniac Games expanded the world with a subversion of Miles Morales that included new elements in the gameplay section. Finally, Marvel's Spider-Man 2 game is Insomniac's next big leap, and expectations of the game will naturally be very high. While the game won't be released at least until next year, it hasn't stopped fans from theorizing and speculating about the story and the possible elements of its gameplay. At the same time as the release of the game's trailer, it was confirmed that Venom's character was set to play an important role in Marvel's Spider-Man 2 narrative process, but it is unclear how the character will be at the heart of the game's story and what the implications will be for the gameplay. In this video, I try to share with you my own theories in this regard. Of course, Venom's presence in Marvel's Spider-Man 2 game had been confirmed even before the game's unveiling trailer. In fact, in the first game of the series, we witnessed Harry Osborn attaching a black substance to Harry Osborn, and Norman Osborn's continued experiments in the sub-game of the series on Harry also attested to this. With this in mind, we can almost be sure that Harry will take on the role of Venom, and the new game of the series will be a direct sequel to Marvel's Spider-Man 2 story. In addition, Kraken the Hunter is also expected to be in the game, and he will likely be behind Venom's plans. Since Harry is a childhood friend of Peter Parker, it is likely that the two will be in touch, and even symbiote can be transferred from Harry to Peter. If that happens and symbiote sticks himself into Peter's body, we will see a darker, more alien version of Spider-Man, because he will lose his sense of justice. This makes the overall theme of the game darker, something Insomniac Games Studio had previously endorsed. It goes without saying that Peter Parker has long since lost his aunt, and this dark version of Peter Parker can have an interesting perspective. In addition to the narrative aspect, this issue can have interesting implications in gameplay. Thanks to symbiote's power, Spider-Man will have more power and agility, allowing him to get enemies out of his way with relative ease. It is also possible to add new abilities and powers to the game, which is what the second game requires. Every good superhero story needs a fountain of redemption by sending its hero into the realm of darkness, and that's where Miles Morales will most likely appear. Rumors about Marvel's Spider-Man 2 co-op began as soon as its trailer was released, but Insomniac Games rejected the rumor and announced that the game would be entirely single-player. But nevertheless, gamers definitely want to control Miles' character at some stage in the game, making him the best option to rid Peter of Venom and then overthrow Kraken the Hunter. Spider-Man Miles Morales is proof that Miles is capable of managing tough situations and could be the cause of Peter's release from symbiote. If this materializes, we can expect interesting gameplay segments such as the fight between Miles and Peter. But if Insomniac Games considers this narrative structure for Marvel's Spider-Man 2, there is also the risk that the story of the game will be overly similar to the story of the Spider-Man 3 film, by Sam Raimi. Sure, there will be some differences in rearrangement of character roles between these two products, but to a large extent we will see the same narrative as before. Of course, that's not necessarily bad, as it creates plenty of opportunities to create Easter eggs and puts a smile on Spider-Man enthusiasts. There is another small possibility of how the game's story is designed, and that is Miles Morales being infected with symbiote. In such a case, Peter is likely to help him return to normal. This idea, while appealing, will probably be rejected for two reasons. One is how he communicates with Harry Osborn, who carries symbiote, because the two have nothing to do with each other, and second, that Miles already has Venom powers and may be immune to symbiote. Either way, it can more or less be concluded that symbiote Venom is likely to play an important role in Marvel's Spider-Man 2 narrative and can also attach itself to one of the two Spider-Man. For this sequel, however, another question is worth asking. What will be the role of Green Goblin? We know that Green Goblin is likely to star in this new game, as Mary Jane found Goblin's masks and grenades in Osborn's apartment, and the green liquid that surrounds Harry is directly related to this villain. But if Harry is to become Venom with symbiote, who is going to take on the role of Green Goblin? The only answer to that question is Norman Osborn, because he is the only character left in the story who can play Goblin. If this materializes, Norman will wear Goblin's mask and cause destruction along with Venom. But other fan theories suggest that Harry's version of Venom could have more power and abilities thanks to the combined effect of symbiote and liquid goblin, which is of course highly unlikely to be realized. Of course, it should be said that all of these are speculations and theories that we have extracted from the limited knowledge available about Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Naturally, there are many things that we don't know yet, and it's likely Insomniac Games will create something that will surprise us. The world of Spider-Man is huge and has a lot of characters and stories to tell, and we're sure Insomniac will present a story worth substitution to previous stories.